Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Having faith, worshipers worry religious intolerance is on the rise.
Well, I'm a senior myself. We're all vulnerable.
And vital vials. CBRM police encourage seniors to take advantage of a life-saving program.
They'd be very lucky to survive an arrow, so this guy's a pretty lucky porcupine.
Plus, a prickly situation. This porcupine is on the mend after being shot with a dart.
With some cloud above the region, it'll be a touch milder tonight. Tomorrow, generally warm again by mid-September standards.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Penopalis. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, faith under fire. Religious intolerance seems to be flaring these days. In mosques, synagogues, and churches, believers are feeling misunderstood, frustrated, and even fearful. From hate crimes to hate speech. As CTV's Hafsa Arif reports, the current political climate has Muslims, Jews, and Christians feeling the heat. Hafsa.
That's right, Maria. Religious intolerance is on the rise, whether that's in the Maritimes or across Canada. Community leaders say what was once hidden has now become harder to ignore. Across neighborhoods, people of many faiths worship and gather. For them, it's part of their identity and sense of belonging. But more recently, it has become a target.
Anti-Semitism has always been a problem in Canada in one fashion or another, but it's really become much more pronounced now, and things are happening now that, having lived in Halifax my whole life, I've never ever seen before.
We're definitely seeing increase in the number of community members. They come forward and share their experiences in the city and in the surrounding areas in the Maritimes.
We all see the rise of the use of religion in political spheres in negative ways. Less so in Canada, but certainly in the United States.
Imam Abdullah Yusri says confrontations are becoming more common.
Sisters, their hijab are pulled from their heads, spit on, hate mails to be dropped in your mailbox by strangers, attacking and mocking the Prophet, mocking Islam.
The Jewish community is also feeling the impact.
Canadian Jews across Canada have been subjected to all kinds of physical threats. Recently, there was a woman that was attacked in Ottawa when she was getting groceries. There was a man attacked.
Atlantic Jewish Council past President Mark David says even community gatherings now require armed security. For many faiths, part of the problem comes from the way religion is perceived or stereotyped.
The modern West is hostile to the growth of Christianity and has kind of, like constricted it. For example, they assume that priests are more likely to be pedophiles than regular dudes walking around. And statistically, that isn't the case.
Faith leaders say at the heart of many traditions lies a shared call for peace.
This gospel message that we are to love one another, which is a shared message among all traditions. It's the golden rule, treat one another as you would be treated.
Theologian David Dean also pointed out it's important to seek out experts and reliable sources when you have questions about any religion and to challenge the assumptions that too often miss the mark. Maria.
Well, that's good advice to follow anytime. Thank you, Hafsa. CTV's Hafsa Arif for us in the news center this evening. All right, time to head over to the anchor desk where Todd Battis is standing by with a look at the headlines.
Hi, Maria. And on that, a suspect has been arrested in the spray painting of a synagogue this weekend in Halifax. We will have the details. Also, in our newscast tonight, a former worker at a youth correctional facility in Waterville in the Annapolis Valley of Nova Scotia is facing 66 sex-related charges. 75-year-old Donald Douglas Williams was arrested on the weekend. Police spent 4 years investigating the case that may involve hundreds of victims. We'll have the details at the top of the newscast. News from the Bank of Canada today. The bank lowered the key lending rate by 25 basis points to 2.5%. It's all designed to help the sluggish Canadian economy and the impacts of tariffs that are starting to come to light. We will have reaction, find out how it will affect your wallet in the newscast.
and be ready to...
And as I mentioned a moment ago, a 31-year-old man is facing charges after anti-Semitic graffiti was found on a Halifax synagogue over the weekend. Charges include mischief, property damage, and public incitement of hatred. We will tell you what happened in court today and have reaction to the charges. Okay, let's go to the Weather Center. Kayla Mitchell with what has been a warm day, and in one spot in particular, a very hot one.
Oh, yes. We're talking about some areas in New Brunswick. And so far at this hour, 29 degrees at Bathurst in the northeast New Brunswick. Hottest spot at Environment Canada monitored weather stations across the country for today. You can see high 20s making an appearance for several other communities in New Brunswick at this hour. 27 at Fredericton, 28 at Miramichi, even near 28 degrees near Kushabagwak. Other parts of the Maritimes with temperatures mostly in the low to mid 20s. And most of these temperatures are above seasonable for this time of the year. Now, relative humidity did increase a little bit in the southwest wind for some coastal areas of the region for today around the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Some of those relative humidity values coming up between 50 and 70%. Much of the rest of the Maritimes remains with relative humidity between 30 and 60%. Winds mostly out of the southwest and being sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. We're getting a few gusts reported between 30 and 40 kilometers per hour, but those wind gusts will diminish as we continue to make our way towards midnight. Over on radar and satellite, there's the cloudiness that's increasing from the south of us, and there'll be continue to be some more cloud cover that moves in tonight. That's off of a low pressure system that's stalled out around the eastern seaboard of the United States. I will have more though on the forecast, so I'm back a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So it's Symphony Week, and to celebrate, shoppers at Micmac Mall were treated to orchestral music last night. As CTV's Jim Quammen shows us, Symphony Nova Scotia kicked off their new season with a free, accessible concert.
This sort of kicks off our season. It's a kind of a thank you to the community, as well as letting them know what we're doing over the course of the season. The rest of the week we've got ensembles playing in the libraries around the community, with Peter and the Wolf is one of the big ones that's being featured. We're just playing a variety of concerts all season long, and this was some free concerts we like to open the season with. We haven't played at the Micmac Mall before. This is our first time, and we like taking this opportunity to get to different venues that people might not expect to hear the orchestra.
We enjoyed their music very much and appreciate their fantastic talent, and how the music, when it's alive like this, it's like more than stereophonic, and it's a great venue to listen to.
They all live in Halifax. They're from all over Canada. They auditioned to win positions in the orchestra, and this is their full-time job. So they make a living here, and they play in the orchestra, and they teach, and they provide all kinds of services, and they've got a lot of their own musical groups as well. So they're members of this community. We pride ourselves on playing a variety of different styles, different concerts that hopefully appeal to everybody. Our Spotlight series is our main classical symphonic series. We've got some really exciting guest conductors coming this year, and we've got music of Mahler and Dvorak and Mendelssohn and Beethoven. We have our pop series with Natalie McMaster, and we're featuring her daughter Mary Frances this time. And Mary Frances's style is very unique. It's this Celtic Latin jazz fusion of styles.
What a treat this was to come this evening and listen to our favorite orchestra.
Oh, what a treat indeed. Beautiful. By the way, Symphony Nova Scotia will perform at Sackville Public Library and Woodlawn Public Library on Saturday. They also have a show planned at Tantallon Public Library on Sunday. For more details in their upcoming shows, of course, you can visit the Symphony Nova Scotia website. All right, time for a break on CTV News at 5, but here's a preview of the next story.
I'm Ryan McDonald in Glace Bay, where today this group of seniors was given these vital vials. Vials of life that could help during a medical emergency. The story is coming up.
HMCS Sackville is the world's last surviving Second World War corvette. Preserved by the Canadian Naval Memorial Trust, she honors those who served and shares Canada's naval story. Keep the legacy afloat. Visit cnnt.ca.
Welcome back. Some seniors in Cape Breton were given an extra piece of protection today in case of a medical emergency. As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, it's one that they simply put in their fridge.
These red and white cylinders may have been unfamiliar to some who attended an information session for seniors in Glace Bay today, but others knew them by the sticker on front as the vials of life.
My mom and grandmother had vials of life like this in the fridge forever and ever and ever. And I said, oh, I don't need those. They both passed. I threw it away. And here I am getting one for ourselves.
Cape Breton Regional Police are partnering with the VON to hand out these vials to elderly people around the Cape Breton Regional Municipality. Lori Ross says that having one in her fridge in case of a medical emergency will put her mind at ease just a bit more.
And if the responders come in and they see the sticker on the fridge, they'll know that all the information is in there.
Well, I'm a senior myself. We're all vulnerable.
A veteran of 50 years of police work, Sergeant Barry Gordon has met already with more than 4,500 seniors in his new role as Senior Safety Navigator. He says these vials are particularly vital when first responders arrive at a home where a person is unconscious.
And on one side, it's got your what medications you're on, a list of them. On the other side, it's got who's your family doctor, what's your name, your address, your telephone number, next to kin information, contact numbers.
Gordon says the vial of life could potentially save a life. In fact, the police on hand today have already seen cases that it has.
Absolutely. How they would save a life is that seconds and minutes are huge when you're responding to an emergency. So if you go in a house and you're trying to find out some information on this person and they're unconscious, this vial, the sticker on the fridge, gives us access right away to get a little bit of history of the person.
Gordon says they will be handing these vials of life out in other communities around CBRM, with the next session taking place on Thanksgiving Day at St. Teresa's Parish Hall in Sydney. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Glace Bay.
Thank you, Ryan. It's such a simple thing, but how impactful.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been around for a little bit, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. And right away, my reaction is, well, that makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense,
yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing tonight. All right, we're looking at the weather. Hot spots in the Maritimes today. There were a few of them.
Holy cow, did we turn back time a month? It's like August temperatures today in parts of the region, especially areas of New Brunswick, but also warm for other areas, including the Halifax Public Garden, where we're looking at some colorful images here. I'm going to have more on the weather forecast coming up after the break.
Start your morning with us for what you need to start your day. News, weather, and even a little fun. Your Morning Atlantic with Amanda Debison, Crystal Garrett, and Latavia Beezer. Weekdays from 6 to 9 on CTV2 and ctvatlantic.ca.
Welcome back. Kaylin Mitchell joins us once again. Kaylin, we were talking earlier this week about how weather hasn't been very complicated these days. It's been very similar around the region.
That's right. And today was no exception to that. We had some very, very warm temperatures, typical high temperature this time of year for many parts of the Maritimes, high teens. Today we had some areas mid to high 20s. Oh. Let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times. And for that, we're going to go to a view of St. John, New Brunswick for today. And you can see some of that sky in the background. We did have some high cloud cover moving in from the south today for the region, but it was thin enough that it was still quite bright across the region, and the southwest wind, that's still a warmer wind direction for us this time of the year. That helped boost those temperatures up a little bit as well. Now, barometric pressure is actually starting to fall a little bit. Now slipping just below 1,020 millibars for Fredericton, and Charlottetown still sitting at 1,020 millibars for Halifax. And the reason why it's coming down is this area of high pressure that's been in place over us over the past couple of days is beginning to weaken a little bit. They're still stalled out low near the eastern seaboard of the United States. It's moving some moisture up in our direction, though the primary weather system coming up late Thursday and Friday, the one that brings us our highest chance of showers, and it's basically just a chance of showers right now, is this cold front that's currently making its way through parts of Ontario as well as into western areas of Quebec. So taking a look at things on radar right now, nothing showing up. As we take a look at our forecast timeline for cloud cover and precipitation, cloud cover will continue to increase as we make our way through tonight. A little bit of patchy fog still possible. Because of the increase in cloudiness, though, the temperatures for tonight a little bit milder than the last couple of nights. Start of the day for tomorrow, it's going to be some cloudy periods around. They are expected to break a little bit with some sunny breaks as we make our way into and through Thursday afternoon, even a bit more of a fair weather mix of sun and cloud for northern areas of New Brunswick. By the afternoon hours, there will be a low chance of some spotty showers in the southwest of Nova Scotia, about a 20 to 30% chance for any given community. Later Thursday evening, the front begins to arrive from the west. They'll bring a higher chance of some showers moving into northern areas of New Brunswick. And as that front moves north to south across the Maritimes Thursday night into Friday morning, it'll bring a chance of showers to New Brunswick, and then on Friday, some scattered showers to both Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Winds in the forecast for tomorrow are once again going to be out of the southwest. They increase a little bit to become a bit breezier, so there'll be some gusts between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures for tonight, as I mentioned, not as cool as the past couple of nights, so falling into a range around 10 to 16 degrees for New Brunswick, at around the mid-teens for Prince Edward Island, and most low temperatures for Nova Scotia tonight between 11 and 16 degrees. Here's a look at your highs in the forecast for Thursday for New Brunswick. Once again, above average for mid-September, mostly into the mid-20s, high teens along the Bay of Fundy coastline, low 20s for Prince Edward Island, and low 20s in the forecast tomorrow for Nova Scotia. Taking a quick look at Friday's forecast, there's that cold front coming in from the west. It does bring some scattered showers to parts of the region. You'd be lucky to pick up a couple millimeters of rain in any showers present. Temperatures begin to cool off a little bit, with the highs mostly in the high teens and low 20s. All right, let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 10-year-old Parker from Hillside Elementary. Parker has sent us a drawing of a line of thunderstorms moving through, lots of lightning and heavy rain. Thank you, Parker. And weather watchers can come into CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kalen.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So several food networks in Nova Scotia have come together to combat food insecurity in a creative way. The goal isn't just to fill cupboards, but as CTV's Hafsa Arif reports, to give people dignity and alternatives to traditional food banks.
For some, walking into a food bank can feel intimidating, which is why 3 new food networks in Nova Scotia are trying a different approach.
There's power in choice, right? And there's power in dignity.
The Muscadabe, Cobequid, and Cape Breton networks are the latest to join a provincial program, backed by $200,000 for those who have a harder time accepting help from others.
Housing is gone up significantly, even in the Sackville area. So this would be areas that were more affordable historically, and they're not anymore.
In Muscadabe, instead of a food bank, it's called a pantry.
Basically set it up into a mini cafe. So we have tables, chairs, tablecloths, placemats, the whole works. And we provide a meal every pantry. So it's a hot meal done in a crock pot.
Choice is part of the design.
We never will pick out anything for somebody. They have full choice on what they receive in the pantry, what they like, what they don't.
In Cobequid, they're feeding hundreds each week and teaching them how to make ingredients go further.
So it's not just about coming in and get that food. It's, well, how do we make a difference? So what are we going to do with the community that they can take these skills home?
Different models, same goal, meeting hunger with compassion.
If the food bank model was going to work, it would have worked by now. So we have to come at it in a different way. 10
collaborative food networks are up and across Nova Scotia, sharing the same goal of ending food insecurity. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
Thinking outside the box. Thank you, Hafsa. Time for our final break here on CTV News at 5. Here's a preview of our next story.
I'm Stephanie Seacos in Seaforth, Nova Scotia. Coming up on CTV News at 5, road to recovery. A porcupine is on the mend at Hope for Wildlife after being found with an arrow in its back. That story is still ahead on CTV News at 5.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Raisins, shoehorns, and slip-on shoes. What do these have in common? We'll tell you tomorrow at 6.
And win 20 grand with Moves Dream Big. First keyword tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Welcome back. Well, one of the newest patients at Hope for Wildlife has survived an unusual injury. As CTV's Stephanie Seco shows us, the young porcupine is now on the road to recovery.
This young porcupine is on the mend at Hope for Wildlife after a disturbing discovery.
Very lucky to have survived it, very lucky.
She was found in the Lucasville area with an arrow in her back.
This particular arrow, it wasn't like a nice smooth one. It did have a bit of an edge to it.
Once she was brought in, the team got to work.
She was under anesthesia, so we sedated her, got her good pain meds, had her under gas anesthesia, and then took x-rays, determined kind of the location of the arrow, and then with some fine-tuning was able to pull it out.
Unfortunately, this isn't the first time Hope for Wildlife has dealt with an incident like this.
Obviously, we get animals in for all kinds of reasons, but we are seeing, 4 or 5 a year that have been shot with arrows, and it may not necessarily be a porcupine, but it does seem to often happen to the porcupines.
Last year, about 120 porcupines ended up here.
We see them a lot because they've been hit by cars and a lot with mange.
People may see more of these creatures and other wildlife out and about over the next several weeks.
Mainly because of the forest fires, and there's so many animals that have been displaced that we're bound to see more. But just in general, this is a time of year that they're very hungry and they want to get lots of meat on their bones for the cold winter.
As for what's next for this porcupine,
she's still not moving her tail a whole lot, which is our main concern, because that is a defense mechanism for porcupines. They need to be able to whip that tail around to protect themselves. So we're in the early stages now, though, so we'll give her some more time and on meds, and hopefully she'll regain that motor function back.
if all goes as planned, this little porcupine will be released back into the wild once she has fully recovered. Stephanie Seco, CTV News, Seaforth, Nova Scotia.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie, and glad to see the little porcupine is on the mend.
And getting some care.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you've been paying a lot of attention to the skies.
Yeah. So we do have a cold front coming in at the end of this week. It is likely to bring the region some scattered showers, though it doesn't look like a tremendous amount of rain with it. It will cool things off, though, for the start of the weekend, feeling a little bit fall-like to get the weekend started. So more on that coming up at 6.
A lot of us looking forward to sweater weather, and we need that rain, too, hopefully. Yeah. Thank you, Kaylin. We'll see you and Todd at 6 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Good night.